Why are you not more successful? I mean, whether you're just quitting your job and starting your first business, or you've already built an 8 or 9 figure business, or maybe you're the CEO of a successful brand, it doesn't really make a difference because we all ask ourselves the same question from time to time. Why are we not more successful? More successful in business, more engaging maybe as a leader, more effective as a parent, more empathetic in our relationships? As an entrepreneur, that question is probably always floating around somewhere in the back of your mind. And I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I see that hold otherwise very successful people back from giving just that 1% more that would propel them to the next level of success and happiness in their lives. And when somebody who's doing these things takes them out of their lives, meaning when somebody is doing one of these 3 things I'm about to tell you, actually buckles down and stops doing these things, the results they get in their lives and the fulfillment that they feel immediately changes for the better. And I've seen this certainly in my own life, but also in the lives of the people on my board of directors and in my employees and in my friends. And I also shared this at a private mastermind a little while ago, about a year ago, I guess. And out of everything that we spoke about, I had more people thank me for sharing this than anything else that was directly related to helping them focus on making more money or growing their business. This is what I got the most thank yous for. And I could sum these 3 traits up really quick right now because I don't think we really need to spend a lot of time going through an explanation on this. The value is putting them on your radar and then you understanding that you need to stop doing them during your day. And the more days that you accumulate and that you're not doing these 3 things, the greater your results are going to be and you'll see the difference very, very quickly. So the very first thing you need to remove from your life to be more successful is complaining. Now, if you spend more than a few minutes wallowing in negative thoughts over anything, that's destroying your momentum in everything. And the funny thing about complaining is that, geez, nobody wants to hear it. The only people who ever really want to listen to your complaints are your loser friends or maybe your lawyers who make a ton of money following up on your complaints. And the second thing you need to take out of your life in order to be more successful are excuses. It doesn't make a difference what the economy is right now, or why you only made 3 sales calls yesterday instead of 10, or why your company only made $8 million last year instead of reaching your goal of $18 million. Excuses stop momentum in its tracks. We have one rule inside of my companies that goes like this. During any of our team meetings, if anybody uses an excuse about anything that we're talking about, the entire team must stop and come up with at least 3 solutions that crush that excuse before we move on to anything else. And it's become a joke with us. If anybody, which is rare right now, but if anybody uses an excuse in one of our meetings, like maybe they say something like, I don't know, COVID's affecting our business or whatever, immediately everybody else at the table jumps in and they light up, right? Probably within a minute or 2, we have 3 or 4 or 5 great solutions that are written down on our whiteboard to overcome that. And because of that company rule, our organizations have grown in spite of the challenges that cause most companies to lose momentum. And our company culture has gone up. And it's actually become fun if anybody ever has a negative moment in their life. Now, the third thing that people need to remove from their day in order to be more successful are distractions. And the number of distractions on somebody's plate when they're starting a business is absolutely crazy. And what's worse is that as we grow, the sheer number of distractions on our plate becomes more and more and more. And obviously, as we grow many of the basic distractions in the beginning, they get handled. But the actual number of distractions increases. So somebody who's just starting out in business may be distracted because their revenue is too low, and that takes their focus off of actually growing their company. But once that same person breaks through the $1 million mark, if they're not careful, they start to get distracted by a lot of other things. Here's why. Because people who get distracted all the time until they learn how to not get distracted. Earlier this year, I was speaking at a room full of entrepreneurs, and one of the guys said that his main distraction was the amount of time that he spent on Facebook. Now, this guy was literally negotiating deals to buy other companies, so he was already kind of successful to begin with. But he was getting distracted during those negotiations because he wanted to log into Facebook and maybe connect with an old high school friend or post something or whatever the heck he was doing. You see, it doesn't make a difference what level you're at in business if you stop complaining, and you stop making excuses, and you figure out all the little distractions that are taking you away from what you should be focusing on, and you get rid of those distractions, then I promise you, you can probably achieve more in the next 90 days than you did all of last year combined. Now, after you've done this for a while, It's kind of easy to notice when you're complaining or when you're making an excuse. But in the beginning, you need to train yourself. You need some kind of a hack. Now, when I first started doing this, I kept a journal, and that really helped me. A good friend of mine wears a rubber band on his wrist, and he snaps it anytime that he's thinking about things or doing things that are holding him back from reaching his goals. The idea is simply to find some way that gets you to snap out of negativity or distractions, and then train yourself to immediately take action that draws you closer to your goal. And you can start by making a short list of 2 to 3 things that trigger you to complain or to make excuses or to get distracted. Because once they're written down, they're on your radar. And every time they come up, you'll know that you're losing momentum. And that's your cue to get back on track. Tell me in the comments below one thing that's distracting for you. Then hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you on the next video.